lovers.
So we thought it appropriate at the end of the year for us to talk to you guys about our favorite whiskeys of this year.
Right.
Oh, ho, ho, ho! There you go.
There we go. Right. Let's get
So
festive now.
we've all gathered a list. Now these aren't whiskeys that are exclusively from this year, but they are the whiskeys that we have tried this year.
Right.
So it's not necessarily like a release from this year, per se, you know what I mean?
No.
But these are all whiskeys that we have tried this year, that we have rated, and so this is going to be our top 5-ish.
Yeah, because all four of us did this independently, so we all have our own sort of rules or framework that we're working within. I think Drew's got his own framework of his top 5. Sean has his. We you know, Andrew, we've done this independently, so there's probably going to be some cross-pollination where same bottles might be on the same list, but maybe not. I think it's going to be a little bit different.
I think it'll be interesting. So take a look. Please comment. Let us know what your favorite whiskey that we reviewed this year was, and I think it'll be fun.
Hey guys, so here's my top 5 for 2017, that is. I'm doing something a little different this year because I want to do something under 100. There was a lot of really good scotches I have had this year, like the GLENGOYNE 25, for example, was outstanding, but unfortunately it's a little higher than I probably want to spend, plus it's hard to find. So I thought, you know what, let me go through my top 5 under $100 that I thought was just exceptional, something that you should have in your bar, right? So let me follow up by saying my number 5 pick is Monkey Shoulder. It's in $30 at any grocery store or any liquor store will have it. And I gave it a 2.5 in our review. And I tell you what, it was so clean and easy in the nose with caramel and lemon and malt vanilla. It was a blended scotch, and again, it's something that you should have in your bar. It's a great, easy-going, easy drinking scotch for 30 bucks. I was up in Chicago not too long ago. I was lucky enough to run up to Benny's, and I brought back an old PULTENEY 12. I had no idea how good it was for the price. I gave it a 3 in our review. It's $40. Very clean, salted caramel, nutty, deep and rich. It's my number 4 scotch of the year. Outstanding scotch. You should have that one at your bar at all times. My number 3. Now, we're getting away from a little bit of the cheaper scotches. This is definitely a little bit more expensive, closer to the $100 range. Outstanding scotch this year was LAPHROAIG L'OR. Oh my gosh. I loved every bit of it, especially the peat. I mean, if you're getting into Isla stuff, this thing is outstanding. I gave it a 3.5. Again, it's around $90 to $100 online. It is a 48 ABV, so one of the cool things I liked about it is it reminded me of pecan pancakes. I thought just what a unique flavor, the sweetness of it mixed with a little peat. Awesome. It had like a wasabi explosion when you had it. It just explodes in your mouth of all these different flavors and syrups and sweetness, and it's really a unique scotch. My number 2 scotch of the year this year is COMPASSBOX Peat Monster. Along the lines of the LAPHROAIG L'OR, it's definitely on the side of the peat, so you gotta like the peat a little bit, but 3.5 is what I gave it. I think it's around $55 online, and it's a smoky sweet barbecue on the nose with some nice sweet simple peat. A really good blend, by the way, for your money. And my number 1, which is kind of funny, when we were in Scotland this year, we got a chance to visit this distillery. And I had no idea when we brought this back that it would be my biggest surprise of the year. I think I've gotten 2 bottles so far. I know Sean and Mark and Andrew have a bottle of this one. We've gone through another bottle. The price value and what you're getting out of this one, by far, is my number 1 bottle this year. It's a Tomatin, which I'm drinking right now, BOCAN. I gave this one a 3, not as high as some of the other ones, but for the price, for around $40 to $50, if you can find it, it's lightly peated, just a little bit, malty and sweet, lemon, chocolate. What you're getting out of this scotch for the price, under $100, I think you cannot go wrong with a Tomatin BOCAN. So there you go, my top 5 for 2017. I'm gonna enjoy this one and get some more of this one for 2018. Cheers.
All right, this is Andrew's top 5 of 2017. I did a little different from Drew. I have, most of mine are under $100, but I decided to make a few choices above that. So number 5, of 2017, my TULLIBARDINE 228. This is not generally my normal wheelhouse, but that is a burgundy cask finish. It has a lot of rich fruits in it. It's somewhat sweet, but not too much. Has no peat, but it has a really rich flavor that I think is definitely worth the money. Next on my list, Peat Monster. Now, you can expect in my wheelhouse there's a lot of peats, but Peat Monster is a great one. It's roughly a $60 bottle. I recommended this bottle to multiple people because it's a fairly affordable, really good representation of peat. This is by COMPASSBOX, so you can go onto their website and get the full transparency of what's in that bottle. So I really like that one for my number 4. Number 3 on my list is maybe not what you normally expect. It's a really well characterized cask strength sherry casking. For me, it is the TAMDHU batch strength, batch number 2. We tried that earlier this year, and it had a great sherry finish. It was rich in flavor, great color, great depth of flavor. The cask strength really helped this, I think, in its presentation. Roughly $90 a bottle, so it is $85 to $90. It's kind of expensive, but it's well worth your money. Number 2 on my list is from GLENMORANGIE. It is the ASTAR. So I am a native from high school and on from Missouri, and the ASTAR is all about the barrel. They use specially selected oak from the north side of the Ozark Mountains in Missouri. It's got to have 8 to 12 rings per inch to have a really porous surface to allow that, and they age it for multiple years before they actually make it into casks, and then they give it to a Tennessee whiskey company for the first fill, and then they take it and make it into bourbon. And the thing that's unique about the ASTAR, classic GLENMORANGIE new make into these special casks, and it completely changes it, makes it buttery, rich, great bottle. $85 a bottle, a little pricey on the high end, but man, I've not had a GLENMORANGIE like this ever. Definitely worth your money. And my number 1 is not too surprising, but it's kind of a combination. It involves LAGAVULIN. There's a lot of pricing differences within LAGAVULIN within the country, so I've got kind of a combination LAGAVULIN 8 and LAGAVULIN 16. So in most of the country, you can get LAGAVULIN 8 for roughly $60. Now and that is a good value. You're going to get a bright peat. You're going to get the LAGAVULIN, the classic LAGAVULIN signature flavor, but it's not going to be as refined as you would get in a LAGAVULIN 16. But in some places of the country, a LAGAVULIN 16 will run you $120 a bottle. Compared to the 8, maybe not worth it. Now, in parts of the country, you can get the LAGAVULIN 16 for roughly $80. If you can do that, definitely worth the buy. But if it's closer to the $120 bottle and you can get the LAGAVULIN 8 for $60, definitely worth it. So the LAGAVULIN brand is very good. They've got great earthy peat in their design, and it's all about value for yourself. The 8 is bright and strong and good. The 16 is richer, deeper, heartier. It's sometimes twice the price. So my number 1 for 2017 is the LAGAVULIN 8 or 16, depending on your price point. And slash to you all. Thanks for watching for the year 2017.
Hey everybody, this is Mark from Scotch for Dummies. I want to talk to you about my top 5 for 2017. When I thought about putting this list together, I didn't put too many restrictions on myself as opposed to pricing or anything like that. I thought about the top 5 scotches that kind of made an impression on me this year, the most, if you will. And actually one of them might not fall within that realm, but we'll talk about it when I get into it. So I tried to be conscious of my scotches because this year, if you paid attention to my reviews, I kind of have been on a journey that has taken me from sort of a Speyside journey to Islay. I've kind of been going in that way, and I know Andrew's wheelhouse is the peat, but I've been heading in that direction. So, but I didn't want this list to be too heavily on the peated side, so I was very conscious of that when I put it together. So, in no particular order, I'm not going to rank them like that, although I'll probably tell you which one was my very favorite. I want to start off with the Glen Grant 16. that bottle, when we had it, it showed up on our bar kind of just out of the whim. I found it in a liquor store, and I remember buying it, bringing it back to the guys and being excited about it. But I remember opening it up and drinking it and doing a review on it and just being blown away. I mean, it was extremely fruity, it was complex, it was balanced, and all for under $100. I want to say it was like an $85 bottle. But it just blew me away, especially considering I really didn't have any experience and exposure to that distillery. So it really made an impression on me. I absolutely loved it, and I would highly recommend it to this day. The second one that I want to talk about is an Islay, and it kind of jumped on the list last minute because it's a tough call, but the LAPHROAIG lore. And I say the lore because which is hard to say because I've been drinking the quarter cask a lot this year. But the lore, I love the quarter cask until I had the lore, and it just added that one more dimension than the quarter cask had. And so to me, the LAPHROAIG lore belongs on this list because if you gave me the money right now, I'd go buy a bottle of it. It was one that just stepped out. It was remarkable to me. It's obviously still on my mind at the end of the year, so that's why it belongs on the list. The one that probably would be questionable as to be on the list this year for 2017 is LAGAVULIN 16. Although we did review some LAGAVULIN this year. We reviewed the 8, we reviewed an 18, and I'm not sure if we did the 16, but that's kind of a foundational Scotch to me. I absolutely love LAGAVULIN. As far as an Islay Scotch, its earthiness, its peatiness, and it's grounded. It's just a different peatiness that I absolutely love. So LAGAVULIN 16, and I'll put an asterisk next to that because I have a bottle of the 12 that we haven't reviewed yet. So I have a feeling once I taste that cask strength 12, the 16 will fall off this list. But as of this moment, we're going to leave it at 16. The last two are extremely good bottles. One is an NAS, and we'll start with that, and that's the GLENMORANGIE SIGNET. I know that's an expensive bottle, and it's not a cheap bottle, but it's available. It's readily available. You can get it. I gotta tell you, the flavor profile in that bottle just blew me away. I absolutely love the taste of that Scotch. It was complex, it was balanced, it was rich, it was sharp. It had these deep chocolatey coffee notes. It was just absolutely exquisite. I absolutely love that bottle. For an NAS, I know it's a salty price. It was remarkable to me, and that's why it made the list. And the final Scotch is one that I wish I had more of. It made this list with a little sample that was sent to us from a friend in Scotland. Aquavitae, Roy, sent us a small sample of the GLENGOYNE 25, and it was by far the best dram that I had this year. That bottle was probably the most complex, rich, balanced. There were so many things going on in that dram that to this day, I just want that bottle. I know it's an expensive bottle, and I'll get a bottle, it will happen, but that was by far and above the most remarkable Scotch that I had this year, and that's why I put it on this list. I can't speak for the other, age statements, the 21 or anything younger like that, but Roy, you kind of tainted this list. There was a no contest. The GLENGOYNE 25 was the top of it for me. So anyway, that's my top 5 for 2017. I'm sure it'll change in 2018. I had a great time getting to hear it and thinking about what I've had over the year, and I look forward to your comments and see what maybe your top 5 were. But I appreciate the journey, and I appreciate you being with me on the journey. So to 2018, let's launch.
Hey guys, so I guess I'm last but not least on this countdown of our top 5 of 2017. So when I sat down to look at the Scotches that I tried this year, I guess my thought was Scotches that I really wanted to have on the bar again. So there were some Scotches that we had that maybe I couldn't get again, whether they were a one-off casking or they're just really difficult to find or they're prohibitively expensive. But there was a few that I really enjoyed that I would have on this bar again, just for me to drink. Not to review, not to talk to anybody about, just because I enjoyed them that much. So that was kind of my cutoff for my top 5. These are a range of price points. There's a lot of different kinds of Scotch on here, but the one thing that they had in common was that I found them stylistically somewhat different from other Scotches, and I enjoyed them just because of that. So my first Scotch on here was the BENRIACH 10, priced about $40, very entry-level Scotch. I gave it a 3 on our initial rating. I just enjoyed this Scotch, and it's not very often that I rate a Scotch that high that is an initial entry-level Scotch. At a $40 range, I just found it to be an exceptional Scotch for the price point and just in general. And I would definitely have that one on the bar again. Next Scotch on my list was the GLEN 16. I rated this one a 3 as well. It's about $80 a bottle. You can find this Scotch, and the reason that we picked up the GLEN 16 was that we actually had a chance to try GLEN 50. That was Drew's Christmas present to us last year, and obviously we loved it. It was amazing Scotch. But we hadn't really tried any other Glen Grants, and we got the chance to try GLEN 16, and it was just one of those Scotches that left the bar far too soon. We enjoyed it. It was great. It's gone now, and I definitely think I'm gonna have to pick up another bottle. The next Scotch on my list was GLENGOYNE 25. That was a Scotch that Roy was kind enough to let us try. Exceptional Scotch. I gave it a 4. I don't have a whole lot of 4s on my list. I believe that's the second that I've done. Yes, this Scotch is a little bit more expensive, a little bit harder to find. When I looked online today, it's going for about $250 to $300 if you can find it online. So, you know, it's not an everyday drinking Scotch, but it was exceptional, and I would love to have another bottle on the bar. My 4th Scotch on the list was the GLENMORANGIE SIGNET. This Scotch was interesting to me. We were kind enough to be invited to a tasting, and this was one of the Scotches that we picked up at the tasting. Exceptional Scotch, and they do it a little bit differently with extra roasting some of the malt. It gives it a deeper, richer flavor. Just a unique flavor profile, and that one went away a little bit too soon as well. I gave that one a 3.5, and it goes for about $170, $200 a bottle. So, you know, not the cheapest Scotch you're gonna find, but if you get a chance to try it, it's definitely worth the time. And then my final Scotch on the list was the TOMATIN BOCAN. We've gone through, I think, 3 bottles of that on the bar so far this year. Just a great, everyday, slightly peaty drinking Scotch. I don't ever feel guilty about having it. I gave it a 3.5 when we initially rated it, and it goes for about $65, $75 a bottle. That particular Scotch, to me, was why you drink Scotch. It's got enough peat to give it some character. It's got enough underlying elements to give it some things that you can pick out and enjoy. And it's not gonna break your bank. So I don't ever feel guilty about drinking it. So those are my top 5 for the year. I had a few others on here. It was actually kind of a tough list. I guess we reviewed about 55 Scotches this year. So that's a pretty steep list to go through and try and pick out 5 of your top ones. But it was a fun look back at 2017. I'm already looking forward to 2018. We've got a lot of good Scotches already in the lineup, so we're ready to do a good year. So thanks for watching us. Cheers to everybody. Happy New Year.
Well, thanks so much. Merry Christmas.
Hey,
Happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas.
Sandra.
Cheers.
Amen, boys.
Drew's ahead of
He's already
us.
drinking.